Okay, now I'm going to return to the garage where I can smoke as we do this. All right. So generally, the first question I ask during these sessions is, how many of my typing sessions have you seen before?
I've seen a few.
And how long have you known about typology?
At least like a year.
Okay. Um, can you tell me about the last time you went on vacation?
Mm, I can't remember. Um, haven't really been anywhere more
Okay.
recently now. Yeah.
How about as a kid?
I mean, as a kid, like half my life, every summer I went to Serbia to visit my grandparents. So I'm 25, so half of that.
Did you enjoy those trips?
Um, I mean, yeah.
If you were to inform somebody about how those trips in childhood shaped you as an adult, what would you say?
Mm, how would they shape me as an adult? Mhm. I, well, besides, I guess like going there and like learning the language, because most of the people, spoke that instead of English, so I had to like learn that. I think that was mainly the best benefit being bilingual because of that.
Okay, cool. Um, and you come back to the United States after those trips every summer.
Yeah, yeah.
And can you tell me about how you enjoyed or didn't enjoy school as a kid?
Um, for the most part, I did enjoy school. Didn't like reading. Didn't like any of the like this like summer homework that they give. I was into the arts.
Okay. And did your schooling provide much opportunity to participate in art stuff?
Um, occasionally.
All right. And then after you finished high school, did you go to college, start working?
Yeah, I went to college, graphic design. I actually finished 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
a recent college graduate, huh?
yeah.
So are you feeling like, oh shit, now I gotta go find a job or what?
Yeah, oh yeah, soon. But I'm currently in an internship, so waiting for that to finish in like
So
next week, I think.
you're already super on track.
Yeah.
And do you think that internship is gonna lead to you working at that place?
Nah. I'm more into like web design, web development, and like logos and stuff. But I'm like making like flyers for them, so that's not really.
Oh,
They don't have like that kind of stuff.
I see. Okay. So do you think you're gonna find working in that field gratifying?
I have a lot of fun, like coding and making sure like the website works whenever you know it does work.
Right. And this was a 4-year program in like computer science or something?
Not computer science. It's more like website making, like front end, back end.
Okay.
I tried computer science though.
And you didn't like it, or what?
Uh, like, yeah, not really.
Okay. And did you enjoy the social aspect of college?
Mm, not really. I mean, I went home afterwards.
So you lived nearby to your university you went to or college?
Um, well, I actually went to like three schools in total. Um, the first one was like 40 minutes away. I only went there like for a year, but then I swapped, went to a different school for like 2 years, and now that's the one that I finished. Is like walking distance.
Oh, cool. Saves you on housing expenses.
Yeah, I think that would have been a problem if I stayed there.
All right. Okay, cool. So, can you talk to me about your media consumption habits, excluding MBTI related videos?
So I mean, when I'm not like when I besides when I like after school stuff, right? And like working now, majority of my day is like watching anime
Oh, really?
or
You're an ahead, huh?
yeah, anime or manga, or just watching
So,
like reactions.
so what are you watching right now, anime wise?
Uh, Besides like stuff that's like currently airing, I'm watching Chiha. Do you know that one?
Not, not familiar with that one. I just before this session, I just finished watching the new episode of Sweet Reincarnation on Crunchyroll, which came
Mm,
out really late in the day. But not one of my favorites exactly. It's okay. Are you watching Sweet Reincarnation?
no,
One of the new season on Crunchyroll. All right. I really like Reborn of the Vending Machine. Now I Wander the Dungeon. You ever seen that one?
it wasn't on my
Another.
radar.
It's a new one on the season of Crunchyroll. Anyway, um, so you have a like a subgenre of anime that you prefer? Like I like isekais.
I tend to like if I see like a new mystery show come out, I usually end up watching them. But I wouldn't say it's
Okay.
my favorite. Um, I do like um, okay, so I got look at my list here. Like my most is like action and then drama.
Hmm. Okay. um, what's your relationship with physical activity? Do you exercise regularly, or are you not really into that? Do you play
Um,
sports?
so I tried sports during like high school. Didn't really last long. Um, More recently, I try to do like some exercises.
Are those exercises things that require you to go outside, or you do them inside?
Do them inside.
Okay. Uh, you tell me what your definition of or understanding of the word truth is?
Mm, I think it's whatever like whatever the individual thinks uh like whatever like they're feeling truth means, I think.
Okay. What about justice?
I think when it comes to justice, it's really like a bias thing. Like they have their own personal justices. It could be good, it could be bad, but it's up to the person, I think.
Okay. And what about art? Let's say visual art. Do you think that that's also just everybody's subjective taste, or do you think that there are some better or worse kinds of art or art decisions?
I think it's subjective. I don't like everything. Um, so yeah, I think it's subjective. Same with
Okay.
like music.
Okay. Um, do you have any creative outlets yourself? Do you like draw, paint, something like that?
Uh, Not anymore. I used to draw a lot. Um, then I just stopped. It got tiresome, I think.
Okay. So, can you describe to me, say, 10 years from now, you get out of bed one morning and you go, wow, I did everything right the last 10 years. Look what my life is now. What would your life now look like?
In 10 years' time, you mean?
Yeah.
Hopefully, um, have a job that I like. Uh, I can pay bills slowly, pay my student loans. Hopefully, in 10 years, I don't have student loans. Um, and I'd be still, hanging out with my friends whenever I can and watch my anime that I like.
Okay. So, do you have any specific vision about your relationship or family status? Like, you want to have kids, anything like that?
I mean, at the current moment, I don't see myself wanting kids. Um, I've never been in a relationship, so I don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon.
Okay. You're not in any hurry.
Nah.
All right. Do you have a particular reason for that? Like, you've seen other people in relationships having a hard time, or you just feel like you want to be in a different place in your life before you think about that, or any reasoning behind that?
Uh, well, I think one of the reasons is that I think I've never been in love. Um, the second, well, also I'm not sure if I want to get married in the future. If I do end up in a relationship, so many people in my life that I've seen get divorced. So yeah,
Right. Yeah, I'm on my third marriage, so. But you know what? It's Rachel's first marriage. She waited till she was 38 to get married, and I think marriages have a lot better chance of success if people are old when they get married.
yeah.
um. Okay, so tell me a little bit more about your social engagement with your friends. Like, are these friends you've had for a long time? What do you guys do together, etc.?
So I met. So growing up, I didn't have friends, or like during high school, didn't have school. When I met them, uh, I play like trading card games. So I met them at a local game store. So we've been like friends ever since.
Are you playing like Magic the Gathering?
I play Magic the Gathering, Cardfight Vanguard, Shadow vs. Evolve.
I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, it's new.
Okay. Um, are you good at Magic the Gathering?
We mostly just play Commander, so it's more like a casual kind of thing.
Okay. Um, I was never very good at Magic. I played it for quite a while, but my problem is I'd want to make some kind of deck that followed my idea of what I thought would be a fun deck to make or something, rather than being strategic about my deck making.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that's a good way to lose at Magic the Gathering.
yeah, I tried playing like the online game, but whatever I tried to like make like fun wise, it just couldn't compete with anything that was like good. So
Yeah, right. People who are really good at it are just dead like so fast. It's
mm.
ridiculous. Um, do you ever play poker?
No, not really. I played poker like once, I think, because uh my uncle had like a set. We played like once.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask you some introverted thinking questions. These are like verbal reasoning questions. So if all poker players lose money and I lose money, am I necessarily a poker player?
Mm, no.
Okay. If some frogs jump and all things that jump compete in the Olympics, is it necessarily the case that some frogs compete in the Olympics?
Not necessarily.
Okay. You tell me who my mother's only daughter's husband is in relation to me.
Mother's only daughters. Uh, your uncle, I think.
No, it's your dad.
Oh, I think I missed one.
Yeah, mother's only daughter is your mother again. Husband is your dad. Okay. Can you talk to me about? Let's ask a different kind of question here. Can you break down the task of getting ready to go to work into 5 steps?
Mm. So considering I don't drive myself, I'm gonna exclude that. So I will get dressed, grab like I guess my bag because I need that. Um, get in the car, get driven there, and work.
Okay, cool. That is in fact 5 steps. Let's say there's something around the house that's broken, and like let's say doorknobs come loose. Are you likely to fix it yourself, um, just by going to it, looking at, it, and figuring out how to fix it? Are you likely to Google like a YouTube video how to fix a broken doorknob? Are you likely to ask a family member to help you with it, or something else?
Um, Considering I don't know how to fix a broken doorknob, I'll probably Google it first and then ask someone else.
Okay. You mentioned that when you were a kid, you didn't have any friends.
Yeah, no.
Was that a difficult experience? Were you did you experience it as loneliness or suffering, or can you expand on that a bit more?
I think it was like me trying to um like at school trying to I wouldn't say like impress other kids, but like try to make friends, but usually didn't work out, I'd be like the one that's like included to things because like the parents like said, oh, make sure to invite them, so everyone's included, kind of thing. So I'd always have like
Okay.
a hard time.
And do you think that how's your relationship with memories from that time? Do you get stuck remembering back to bad experiences, or is it easy to put it behind you?
Um, I mean, I guess like I shouldn't really forget about it because it's part of my life. Um, I think it structured me for what I am now.
Okay. So you don't think it was all bad? You have kind of mixed feelings about it?
Yeah, it's kind of mixed feelings. I haven't like talked to any of those people.
Sure, yeah. Okay. Can you tell me about what you think the word authenticity means?
Uh, to like be original. Uh,
Okay. Um, do you feel like authenticity plays a role in your own life? That it's either something you feel is not a problem for yourself, something you maybe feel is a problem for others, something you can identify instances of easily or not? Or can you expand a little bit more on your relationship with authenticity?
like, um, would I say? Hmm, like I don't try to be part of like like cliques and shit. It's not. I don't really like want to follow what everyone else is doing, but sometimes I can't just do like my own thing, so I have to like compromise in social situations.
Okay, interesting. Um, can you talk to me about what comprises for you a triumph baby moment? You may be familiar with this old meme of this baby sitting on a beach going like this. He's called like Success Baby or Triumph Baby or something like that. Anyway, he looks super self-satisfied, like fuck yeah, I'm killing it. So can you tell me about the kind of thing that might make you feel that way about yourself?
Um, so I do like it when I win in tournaments. There was this little period where I was like not really interested in being like a competitive player in card games, but now I'm like getting back into that. So I did really well recently, so I was really happy about that. But so I was like, kind of ecstatic.
Okay. Can you talk to me about your process when you're researching a topic, when you're trying to learn about something?
Mm, how- what I research this topic? Mm, I mean, it's usually through Google. I just like look up if it's something that I'm like want to know. I like look it up. And if that like whatever I find, maybe like the first link or second link it isn't like that useful, maybe try looking up for like a video on YouTube or something.
Okay. All right. So yeah, like what I guess what I was aiming at there was if I were to describe my own process, if it's a subject I'm interested in reading about but don't really need to learn about, like say a certain women's soccer game from the World Cup that I just watched, then I'll go to Google News and I'll open up like 12 different articles and 12 different tabs all about the same subject. and then I'll go and read each of them. Whereas if I'm researching something like for my job, I'll go on Google Scholar and I'll specifically find only things that have a PDF link on them. Like, that's what I mean by telling me about your process of researching things a little bit more on a detailed level. Like, what, like, do you like to keep things clean and simple? Like, I only look at one thing at a time. You have a bunch of shit in the mix. Do you ever like copy and paste things that you read so you can remember them later? Like a little bit more details like that.
Um, yeah, it's like usually one at a time. Like it's kind of hard for me to focus on more than one thing.
Okay. When you watch my typing sessions in the past, are you somebody who watches the whole thing? Like you have it on the background, you're kind of listening to it, or do you skip around and watch parts that you seem more interesting?
I mean, I watched from start to finish. I've been paused a few times to do something else, but yeah.
All right. So, what makes you angry at yourself? Can you think of something that you might conceivably do on a semi-regular basis that might make you say to yourself, "Damn it, self, I really messed up there."
When I guess, when I like, so I try to like make sure that I know what I'm doing before doing something. But if I try to do something and then fail at it, kind of get mad at myself. Just a teeny bit, but like, or so I play like Anime Music Quiz. Do you know that website?
What's it called?
Anime Music Quiz.
Oh no, I've never heard of it before.
So like you use your anime list, then you like have to guess the song, like that show the songs from, opening or ending. So I like tend to know most of my list, but like when I like knew like if like my head is like telling me, oh, you should have put that, but I put something else, that I get really like annoyed at myself.
That's a fantastic answer. It's so very telling. What a wonderful answer. Um, okay. Uh, that's interesting because I would totally fail at because I never watch the intros or outros of anything. I'm sure a lot of people are like that. Now,
Yeah.
Crunchyroll doesn't have skip intro, but if you watch it on Netflix, there's just zero chance I'm going to watch any intro. Anyway, okay. So now I'm going to tell you about an invention I made, and I'd like you to come up with some names, some possible names for it to help me market it for sale. Okay.
Okay.
The invention is it's a potato holding ceramic boat that has little things on the side of it that hold ketchup and sour cream. You can, after you take it out of the microwave, you can just squirt the condiments directly onto the potato.
A
The only
potato
thing I can.
holding. A potato holding. Wait, what?
So I'm sorry to have interrupted you. The only name I can come up with for it is a potato holder that also has condiment dispensers built into it. But marketing department says it doesn't have enough zing to it. they'd like you to produce several possibilities that have zing to it.
I'm sorry. I heard potato holding. It was a boat.
I'm just saying I can't think of a good snappy name for it. The
Yeah,
marketing wants you to come up with several good snappy name possibilities for it.
Mm, like a condiment. You said it was like a pump, right? It was like a condiment pump or something.
Yeah, there's two condiment pumping containers attached to the thing that the potato gets cooked in.
Mm. So, sorry, I'm not sure.
Okay, so like you could call it like the spud saucer, the tater topper, the po and go. I don't know, that's possible. My cat needs me to watch him eat, so otherwise, for some reason, he just refuses to eat food. So until I come watch him. You like to have people watch you eat?
Sorry.
Do you like to have people watch you eat?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay. um. So, what do you think would make you more defensive? If somebody accused you of being illogical, or if somebody accused you of being socially awkward?
If they, what would I find more offensive, right?
Well, what would make you more defensive?
Defensive. Um, the illogical one.
Okay. How about illogical or inauthentic?
I'd still go with the illogical.
Okay. Cool. Now I'm going to give you a long sentence, and I'd like you to collapse it down into a shorter version of it. Okay.
Okay.
So the long one's going to have like redundancies and stuff and extra details you will want to exclude. Okay. Here we go. If you enjoy studying the history of women who expressed a very particular expression through their fashion, and in particular, you're interested in ladies historically who have really expressed their fashion sense through articles of clothing that are dyed into the color red, then perhaps in your search for examples of ladies in history who have this passionate fascination for red fashion, you should explore a history of the former First Lady who was married to Ronald Reagan, namely Nancy Reagan, who was famous for often wearing red dresses.
I like the history of women's fashion.
Okay. The closest, that's fine. That certainly is a lot shorter. Um, okay. I feel as though I feel very confident already that I know what type you are. So, um, rather than assessing any further at the moment, I'm going to tell you what I think you are. And then you can guide the rest of the time as you see fit. Because given what type you are, I know how too many words after a while, you possibly could find tiring. Anyway, I think you're an ISFP, and I think so with a high degree of confidence. Can you tell me what you thought you were coming in?
So I don't know when it was, but like I tried typing myself, and I just stuck with that for like a bit. I typed myself ISTP.
Okay, well, you got the right polar, you got the right
Hmm.
blind spot, but your response to TI questions is much more consistent with 8th slot than it is with Dong. Your T that's better than TI, at least more conscious, is TE, and your TI plays out very much like 8th slot. So when I asked about the genealogy question, it took you a while. You got it wrong. You got the question before that wrong as well, which was some frogs jump. All things that jump compete in the Olympics. Therefore, do some frogs necessarily compete in the Olympics? The answer was yes, they do. So you got a couple of those wrong, and also the kind of deliberate pace of the consideration is also much more consistent with 8th slot. But you are a deliberator action type who has extroverted intuition polar. So ISTP was very close.
Okay.
Do you have any questions, or do you want to direct the rest of the time in any particular way, or what do you want to do there?
Because I do like feel like I have a hard time in public anyway, like express like emotion. Like I don't like when I'm at home, it's different. Like in public, I'm just like I don't want to like, even though I want to kind of sometimes, I don't want to like according to my friends, I'm like the most stoic person they know.
Well, I mean, the thing people don't really understand very well about FI is that people who are using it effectively and attending by it as a conscious function, that they have a lot more control over their emotions than say somebody like me who's got it in their blind spot.
Mm.
I am very emotional, public or private. I cannot not show my emotions on my face all the time. But because I'm like a little baby with my emotions. I have no conscious understanding of them at all, really. And in contrast, you very much do. So, like, here's like the way that you address questions of truth, justice, and art as all subjective are consistent with your dominant function's absolute value of the authenticity of the individual and their particular selves. The way you addressed the question of authenticity, you had a lot more clarity about what that was. You didn't say that authenticity was subjective, which of course is interesting because authenticity is actually the only one of those things that is subjective. But an ISFP is going to answer the way you did. As far as the part that is not in any dispute that you're either an ISFP or an ISFP is validated by your wonderful answer to the question, what makes you mad at yourself? You gave a perfect example of 6th slot SI critical parent, as you cited not remembering something directly as the thing that makes you mad at yourself. That was just fantastic. And that 8th slot extrovert, 7th slot extroverted intuition seemed obvious to me right from the beginning, just because of the way that your answers are so concise and complete, and they don't like add anything else extra on.
Okay. Yeah.
But just because you're an FI-DOM does not mean you can't use introverted thinking effectively. In fact, you kind of naturally will, as long as it's in service of what you authentically care about. You'll find your introverted thinking is as robust as you need it to be. Just like my extroverted sensing is actually, if you were just to evaluate it from external parties' perspective, is quite a lot of it. I make a lot of videos. I put up a lot of stuff or whatever. But it's all in service of my extroverted intuition. It's also that I can talk about stuff. Actions that don't serve that purpose, I'm much less, going to display good SE about. Same sort of equivalency for you and TI.
I see.
Do you have any other questions or thoughts, or would you like to direct me to explain anything, or?
Because so I think in one of the videos I watched, your sessions, you mentioned like the polar with your inferior, kind of like you're confused the two sometimes. Like, what would be like an example of me doing it?
Like when I asked you for possible names for my potato invention, you came up with 0. Like every question I ask you, your answer is very concise and nice and NI compact. It's not SI rambling. You're not giving me a lot of personal details from your life that maybe an NI person would find boring. Like today I went to the store and I bought some cheese. First I went down the first aisle and I saw that there was some cheese on sale. And I said, oh my God, what a good price on cheese. Like, you're not doing any of that kind of SI rambling. And but you're perfectly capable of remembering details when asked. And in fact, you get mad at yourself when you're unable to recall details. So the extroverted intuition polar plays out as just very concise answers with no follow-up things that lead the other person to build off of what you said, right? Now that's not a particularly good reason for you to believe you're any polar. What I'm basically telling you in that instance is they only did one test on you for extroverted intuition. The reason I only did one extroverted intuition test is because I'm extroverted intuition dominant, I can tell extroverted intuition polar right away. The easiest types for me to type are ISTP and ISFP, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're the easiest to establish dependently that they're that type. But you're pretty cut and dry. I mean, you're about as cut and dry at typing as I ever encountered. So, as far as in your own life, how will you experience examples of extroverted intuition polar? Well, you may find circumstances that require you to come up with random shit. I don't know how often, probably in school you encountered that, like probably some teacher projecting their frame bias had some assignment at some point where they say, well, just go up there and just talk about it for a while. Just make some notes and then just have a couple bullet points and then talk off of those bullet points. If you had a card on it with 3 bullet points, it said, talk about, your topic was apples. And the first bullet point said trees. The second bullet point said farmers. And the third bullet point said pies. You'd say, well, apples grow on trees, on farms, and people use them to make pies. Whereas I would say the first subtopic of apples is trees. Now, America has a long history of an infatuation with apple trees, going back to Johnny Appleseed in the olden days, who walked around the country dropping apple seeds everywhere he went and growing apple trees behind him. I could go on forever just about subtopic 1, right? So the thing is, you probably have some kind of memory of the first experience that I'm talking about happening to you, but you might not, because polar is not very easy to remember.
like in school, I think it was my last semester, a professor was like, "Oh, think of 3 topics from like this list of like this like entire list," and I was like, I couldn't like think of anything until like I was like rushed like the last like second. And I just picked 3.
That wasn't even an example of him asking you to think of 3. He was just asking you to pick 3.
Yeah,
If he said make up 3 different thesis sentences for a prospective paper on a subject, you'd be like, 3? So yeah, that's any polar for you, and it's kind of a good polar to have. I think in general, people don't expect you to come up with a lot of original ideas in the world. I think the world doesn't expect that of people a lot. On the other hand, you may encounter sometimes difficulty, like having casual chats with people because you don't really know what to say.
yeah. I usually say like okay after like someone like wrote like a long thing.
Yeah. Somebody writes you half a book and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Which is really the smartest response in that situation anyway. And anything else you want me to talk about? We got 10 minutes left.
I mean, we could talk about anime if you want. I don't know.
Yes. Do you subscribe to Crunchyroll?
No, no, didn't really like
Then
the Crunchyroll.
you don't like Crunchyroll? I mean, that's the home of all the good new anime.
But they don't have anything old that I
You
want to
only
watch.
like anime?
I mean, I watch like new stuff, but like if I try to like find like the thing that I'm watching now, it wouldn't be on there.
Where do you watch it?
Like I'm not gonna lie, I watch on like pirate sites.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, we'll just not talk about that. Okay. Well, the thing is, I'm such an anime head. When I first got into anime, it was when I watched Naruto and Naruto Shippuden,
Mhm.
and I watched that whole show. That was way back when it was still coming out, and then at some point during that process to watch it when it was coming out new, I had to get Crunchyroll because that's where
Mm.
it was coming out new at the time. You wanted to watch it like right when it came out, unless I did what you did, which I didn't know how to do or wasn't really trying to do or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know how to do that until like I got back into anime, like in high school. I watched like on Adult Swim when I was young.
Yeah. I think that's where maybe we all first got introduced to anime on Adult Swim. And the thing is, Naruto was good enough that I watched the original Naruto dubbed first.
Same.
And I hate all dubbed anime. Do you watch dubs?
Uh, no, I grew up on the dub, obviously, but um, I think it was I was watching Sailor Moon, subbed, and I wanted to watch one of the movies, so I switched the movie. It was only in dubbed, so I tried listening for a little bit. I was like, no, I turned it off.
Do you watch Card Captor Sakura since you play Card
I've never
Captor?
watched Card Captor. No.
But you play it, right?
Card Cap. Oh no, not Card Cap. Oh, I play cards, but like not the Card Captor
Oh,
Sakura.
okay. I thought there was a game based on that cartoon. My mistake. I thought I heard you say Card Captor earlier.
Oh, Card Fight Vanguard. That's based off an anime.
Okay, yeah, my bad. I got the wrong one. I got confused in my head and thought you were hit. No, you're right. That one. So, do you watch that anime?
I only watched the anime because I played the game.
Okay.
Oh,
Is the
yeah.
anime not really that good on its own?
No, it's good. I mean, the plot's like reused sometimes from like the old ones, but I mean, it's a different like variation, so it's I like it.
Different skin on the same
Yes,
game
different
engine.
skin. Yeah.
Do you play other kinds of video games besides strategy card games?
Um. So,
I see you have a gamer chair there.
uh, yeah. Like I like Pokemon, but like for like the newer ones, I just tend to like finish the story and never go back to it. But I preferred like the older ones. They have like more replayability. Because I grew up on like Diamond and Pearl, like the spin-offs more. Um,
So, did you play the game where you walk around and collect them
yeah, the oh wait, like
on your
just
phone?
Pokemon and oh no, I didn't play Go. That was
My daughter was into that for a while.
my brother played.
Okay, so you didn't play that one, huh?
No, I mean growing up, I played a bunch of PC games. The ones on like CDs.
How did you get
Uh,
along? How did you get along with your brother? That's the first I've heard about him.
uh, we didn't really get along growing up. Um, like more recently, he got into Magic, so we have that. But he also apparently watches anime. Like he never told me that. So when he told me that, I was like shocked. So we like talk about that.
Cool, cool. Another example of your SI6 was when you said, I should care more about my past, but I don't really. That's pretty classic 6 slot or 8 slot SI. The difference between 6 slot, you're likely to criticize yourself about it. 8 slot, if somebody else criticizes you about it, you get defensive.
Hmm. Okay, I see.
So when I said what would make you mad if someone, what would make you most defensive, you said illogical versus FE. So you said TI instead of FE, and then you said TI instead of what was the second one? I said I don't
Authentic.
remember. Authentic, yeah. So that tells you you're more comfortable with somebody criticizing your dominant nature, which is this is the case for everybody, because you feel very confident in that area. You're not worried about actually being an authentic. So while you're very sure that whoever would be accusing you of being inauthentic is wrong, you're not especially defensive about it. In contrast, if somebody accuses you of being illogical because it's your autopilot function, you expect it to you feel like it's in perfect balance, that you're just the right amount of logical for your purposes, for who you are.
Hmm.
So when somebody tells you you're being illogical, they're telling you you've got your perfectly balanced function out of balance, and it makes you defensive. Not you, everybody.
Hmm.
Their 8 slot function works that way. So all of your answers were so beautifully consistent with ISFP. I love it when all of my explanations have such perfect concrete manifestations as this typing session. Are you comfortable with me publishing this session, or would you prefer I share it with you privately?
Oh, you could publish it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I will do that as soon as we're done. I'll upload it. Is there anything else before we wrap this up?
No, I think we're good. Yeah.
All
Thanks.
right, cool. So thank you.
Hmm.
And like I said, I will publish this as soon as I go inside here. Right, it'd probably take an hour or so to upload because I got kind of shitty internet. Okay, well, have a great evening and thanks very much for your business.
Yeah, no problem. Good night.
Good night. Bye.